What's going on, guys? I got something new for you all on the channel. I know I've not been uploading for a long time. I've been so focused on the podcast and other things I've been doing and events, but we got something new and I'm going to try and do as many of these as possible. Maybe not for every event, but guide through a lot of the bigger Counter-Strike events. And this is called Fantasy Feeling. Now, you say, well, what the hell is that? That sounds like it could be something very different than what you imagine. No, if you haven't checked out yet, obviously HLTV, the biggest and best website for all things Counter-Strike. They have a fantasy league, which is always fun to play in. Anyone can play, just need to sign up for an account and enter. They've got cash prizes up for grab every single time, and then a seasonal prize as well. There's a lot of great things in there that you can take part in, just from having some Counter-Strike knowledge and having some fun with it as well. It's a bit of a different format than what I would say is normal sports fantasy that I've done in the past, like football fantasy as an example. It's got its Counter-Strike twist on it. It's still being updated. There's still changes and things coming in with it at the same time. But I did some stats. I did some digging up of this, and I'm not by anywhere near an expert. I'll leave that to like Lucy or Scrawny or Pitu or people like that who were dominating the leaderboards, especially in the celebrity leaderboard. But in 2023, I managed top 8, 2024, top 7. And in 2024, I even missed some big events, which was terrible. By the way, if you're going to do this for the whole season, and you're not just looking at like individual trying to win one event, that's my first bit of advice. Don't miss a season. Don't miss a game if you want to win the season. It's not a good start at all. It's not how I wanted things to go. But sometimes that happens. And at the end of the day, I'm not trying to win money doing this. I'm just trying to have fun and beat some of the people I know that are doing it at the same time. But consistency is key if you want to take part in the whole overall season of it all. Now, let me bring up the fantasy for you guys and I'll show you what it all looks like. So you might be thinking, okay, what is fantasy? Well, HLTV Fantasy, it has seasons across the year. So you have the spring season into the fall season. It covers most of the big events that you see out there. And you basically build your own team around the best players you can find from the best teams that are competing in that event. If you look down here, here's the overall full season leaderboard so far. Number one, it's only been 3 out of 3 games. Remember, we're early in this part of the season. I'm down here on 6-9-2-1. It's not great. I didn't tell you I was going to be genius or great on this. But for a season, look at this. $5,000 for first prize, $2,000 for second, and $1,000 for third. On top of that, if we go to every individual event, let's just do Blast Bounty that's going on right now. We've got details on here. Where does it say? This is just all my details. What's up for grabs? Oh, here we go. Standings, event overview. There we go. We got skins on grabs, up for grabs from SkinClub. Hydra Gloves, Hyper Beast Orb, Hyper Beast M4A1S. Not bad at all in prizes, just for playing. And again, it's completely free for you to get involved in, for you to enter and play in. So what I'll do is I'll just show you my team for this one. I always call my team just Bank Stars. It's just a funny play on words. I don't know, it's just, they're star players. I'm Banks. Woohoo. That's how it can go. Right now, I'm filming this on the 16th of August. And I'm going to be doing Esports World Cup for you guys. But like, I don't know, some of the rules I look at for this. Oh, by the way, I should probably notice, my office looks like a mess if you've been watching my stream and stuff going on. I have been moving the office from one side to the other. We're still changing everything. I'm trying to build a wall of stuff I'm going to display and things. So over across the videos, it'll get better, I'm sure. But yeah, looking at how you build these teams, when you're in a situation where you're looking at how you pick players, you're doing it for just one game. So this is for the Blast Bounty Finals, where it was just the 8 teams that came into the playoffs. So in my head, the way I looked at this was, okay, I think the finals will be Vitality and Spirit. Spirit already in the finals, and I think Mongols can go far. They have a chance of going up against Aurora, but you also only have $1 million to buy players with, and each of them have their value. So you need to be careful with that, you know? I try to aim for more silvers than golds. Now, there's something, if you are not someone who's going to play every game in the season and try win the $5,000, $2,000, whatever it may be, then you could play something crazy where you pick some gold players who are much more expensive than the silver and bronze players. And then maybe not going to hit as big a rating or something, but maybe you go for a Hail Mary, as Carrigan liked to say when Simple joined into the team. You can have those moments. You can play a risk versus reward, have a couple of bronze players and hope they're going to go further. But generally, a safe rule of thumb is to aim for more silvers. Maybe a bronze is in there, depending on what silvers you have. I've gone for 2 in-game leaders, which is also a bit of a risk in there. But obviously, I'm planning that Vitality win this event. Robs pops off and does very well. I could have gone for a ZywOo, but he was so much more expensive that didn't make sense. Luckily, Zwei is having a really good tournament, an improved tournament, and I just predicted that that might happen after Clone and getting used to it. And Techno can be kind of reliable. Sometimes can drop off, so it really depends on what day you get him on. So there's a bit of luck needed with all of this. You put them into roles as well. Now, roles are super important. I did one event where I didn't put any roles in. That was rough. That was terrible. So, for example, roles in here. I'll give an example of ZywOo. If I had ZywOo, you'd think, oh yeah, you put him as main AWP. No, actually, it's better to put him as a multi-fragger because he always multi-frags. Same as like a donk, for example. But you might be kind of tricked into thinking, well, his role is an AWPer on ZywOo. So we should have him as AWP. Not always, considering he doesn't AWP as much as well, you know. You might say Shiro, probably you'd have him as an AWPer. But someone like ZywOo as a multi-fragger. So you've got to be looking at this. So what I'm going to do with you guys now is I'm going to build my team for the Esports World Cup. So let's get into it. So we'll do as always. Looking at it like this, we'll do this. Now, what I've got to make sure of here is that when I show you this, the way I look at this and the way I think about this is Esports World Cup is single elimination, best of threes, and even the grand finals are best of three. It's got a third place decider in there, which will factor into this, but it's a different style of tournament and format for the Fantasy League. It's very tough. But what you want to look at here is the journey. So basically, you need to think in your heads, okay, Spirit, Vitality, opposite sides of the bracket. We want maybe 2 players from each of them. This is just a rule of thumb that I go by for the consistency factors. Obviously, an upset can happen at any point and change things. Now, what we need to remember here is that currently Zontix is still listed on Spirit, but what we're going to hear probably after Blast Bounty is that it will be Tanir, who comes in from Heroic, will be the player playing for Spirit, actually at the World Cup, which is a crazy situation, by the way. But you want to look here and choose your players. So we're thinking, I wouldn't pick 4 players from this side of the bracket because they will face each other and eliminate each other. And that means your own players will eliminate. Now, you might say, but that means I'm guaranteed some players doing well. There's no guarantees in fantasy. You can't ever know that that's going to happen. So my recommendation is to play it a little bit safer than that. So Apex, even though he's the in-game leader, he doesn't frag out too badly. I'm going to go in with Apex, and I'm going to go in and say, this is good again, right? Now, Mezzy, his stocks keep going up. We can see this here, looking at all their ratings and stuff. Now, before ZywOo was 240. This time around, he's 235. So he's come down a little bit in price. Robs has gone up, but that's still 15,000 difference. I would like to take a ZywOo, as if Vitality do win the World Cup and ZywOo is MVP, he will give you the most points across this tournament, more than likely. Donk probably is another factor in there, but if we look at Donk is in at 245. Obviously, he gets a higher rating. Rating is so important here on top of the rolls and then the boosters that you can use at the same time. So I said to you guys before, a lot of silver is what I want to aim for in this one. So my second player probably from Vitality might be a Flames or could be a Robs. It depends on what we can work out here. So remember, I'm doing this live with you guys. I haven't really gone through the motions of this. So let's try a Robs fitting in. Already, out of my million, I've spent half of it, basically. I spent $420,000 on 2 players. Okay, now Mouse. Didn't look too good for them at Blast against Spirit in the end, so I'm going to skip over them. But this is good, skipping over the number 2 team in the world. Looking at the other side of the bracket. Remember, we kept coming to this bracket. You look here. Okay, Spirit could face Heroic, win. Face Aurora, face, probably win. Then someone on this side, maybe Mouse again, win, make grand final. That's just in my head. So I'll delete this one, so I'll stop going back to it. So let's now think, Chopper, really nice and cheap again. This is great. Put that in. Do I go for a Zwei again as the next cheap and he's performing better? Right now, Zwei's stats are rising. I think I bought him for 200,000 for Blast and he's now 204,000. But this is still good. Now I'm left with $189,000 to buy a player. This gets a little bit harder, but we got to look through, okay, who could get us some points? How far could someone go? Who could be beneficial here? So let's just look. Hunter's here. I know he's another IGL, but he's not a particularly low fragging IGL, especially how recently he's just moved over to the role. They're playing Falcons first game. Sorry, Hunter, you're probably going to lose that. So not going to go for that. Doesn't make sense, right? Let's choose a player who's going to go out straight away. And then you look down, like, I feel like Heroic will lose their first game. Ooh, Tyloo could be an interesting one. They play Astralis. There's history here on this matchup. And that's another thing. You can look at a bit of the history between these two teams at the same time. So both times at Fissure, it was wins for Tyloo. Tyloo players, not so expensive in there. Only Jam Young, obviously, was the MVP of the tournament. Comes in pretty damn expensive. So it could be an option there. But I've done it again. But looking at that, if we look at the overview, Tyloo would win the first game maybe against Astralis, maybe, and then lose to Vitality. So I would love if I could get someone from Mouse or Falcons or maybe Na'Vi or Mongols. That would be an ideal situation. So let's have a look at the Mongols. Is there anyone from the Mongols that will let me take? No. Everyone is out of range from me of picking up from the Mongols. Techno had a better performance recently, so he's gone up in money here. He's a bit more expensive. The Brolan one might actually make sense because they should beat VP and then they do have a chance to beat both GT and G2 or Falcons. If it's Falcons, I think it might be harder for Mouse for sure. But like, oh, it's tough. And this is the problem. One of these players is going to go out early on, but you want to aim at least 4 players because you only take 2 players from each team going into a deeper run of the whole tournament. And this is a lot of just guessing. Anything can go wrong. Something crazy can happen and not go your way. That is just how it goes in fantasy. So, Aurora Fraser could take an Aurora player, but I think I'm only going to be able to buy Madja, which, no offense, Madja, rating 0.86. Same as Alexi, 8.2. Like, it's rough. Gaming Legion, probably not going to beat Mongols. Even though, like, Mongols is coming just from a tournament. I think my best bet here is to take Brolan. So this would be my team. Now, this is just buying the team. Now we've got to go on the other side of things. So I do think that Apex will have Vitality win the entire tournament. I expect them to win Blast Bounty that's going on right now as well. So giving them the leader bonus, team match result, max bonus, team wins all maps, best of 3 or best of 5. So when they get 2-0, he gets a big bonus, or best of 1. And then team wins best of 3, best of 5 with losing a map or best of 1 in overtime. So it's a smaller trigger, the 29%. And then penalty, team loses. So obviously he gets minus points when he loses. We'll give him the leader role. Now, multi-fragger in here. This looks a bit crazy because the big is not so favored, right? Like you could go, for example, what other options have we got in there for good old Rops? Yeah, Rops is just a good all-round player. So Rops, for me, I'm still going to stick him on multi-fragger like I had before. 37% on the big that he can rise up, but then 42% of small. It's a high value, and he is going to be getting multiple kills because he's just that talented and that mechanically gifted. So let's put him in there again. Now, Chopper. I made the mistake last time. I put him on, I gave him an eco-fragger, right? I'm not going to say it was a mistake, but I just saw how well he was utilizing the AK and being very good at just helping his team. Nothing else really fits for him. You could use a bit of a headshot machine in there, but he still gave me enough points. Do I go for this again? Do I just do this again? Because obviously there are many times where Chopper will just throw over an AK to donk. The only risk, by the way, here with this whole Spirit thing is that Tanir is going to come in for his first event with the team at EWC. But it's not 100% confirmed yet. It's not official. It's just what all the rumors have said. So let's do it. Let's just stick Chopper back on there. Now, support player or attacker for Zwei. I felt like, I'm just going to check this. So I felt like Zwei was playing better on his CT sides just now. Okay. T side rating. Zwei, 1.03. CT side rating, 1.63. Now, they did start CT on... He was better on CT on both maps, though, right? Yeah, on both maps, he was better on CT. Look at that. That's kind of crazy. So if we go Ancient, CT. Yeah, so I'm going to put him in Defender mode. Where's Defender? It says Attacker now, but he's changed. He's not on the same team anymore. So let's give him... Let's give him this. Let's give him Defender and see if we can cook with that a little bit. Now, for Brolan, it gets a little bit harder because he is much more of a supportive element now. Headshot machine is something I like to use a lot. Noob, by the way, I just want to say this. Noob is like, maybe even sometimes you use it on a Karrigan, maybe. But in general, I try not to use it on anyone because I found this normally hurts me. Like below 0.85 is your big bonus, small bonus 1.12 or below. But every now and again, in-game leaders have this ability, even the worst in-game leaders, where they just pop off and destroy everything. And then I go, damn it, that noob roll I put on them, it's not working out for me. So I might put the support element. Yeah, I might look at this. Yeah, let's go support CT side on Brolan on here. Now, good thing about the Esports World Cup happening in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh, I'm going there in a few days, that we already know all the matchups coming up. Apex, he already beat Liquid 2-0. It was overtimes, but they did that at Blast. They're going to come in hot knowing what they're playing against like these guys. Now, this thing here, this is called Skin in the Game. This is the SkinClub bonus. It says put your skin in the game and double your team points, +6, -3, depending on the match outcome with the help of SkinClub. That's 100% guaranteed. So as long as he wins, which I'm confident he's going to win, I'm going to get a full set of points for this. So give me the full points, no problem at all. Now we can look here, and this is all about the percentage. So always click this. This is the player view, but you can click power view. So click power view, and you get yourself a better understanding of what's going on here. So Avengers, not bad. Basically consistent. Drops is always consistent. Doesn't often have a bad game. Oh, assists. So he's getting a lot of the damage done, especially with how he's playing his role and position, and someone else might come to finish. See, that's a high. Now, what I tried to do here is use a lot of these higher ones early on so I get the benefits. And because it's all single elimination, you need to make sure you're using all these boosters as much as possible. Now, Chopper, don't get baited into bottom of the scoreboard because in recent form, this is where you have to be watching the games, looking back at some of their games. I'll do it again here. Let's look at Chopper. Oh, yeah, Chopper, 1.22 rating. Definitely not a noob and certainly not bottom of the scoreboard. Look, wasn't bottom of the scoreboard here. Was bottom of the scoreboard, but not the very bottom because Brolan was. So, you know, don't risk that just yet on him. Avenger in there. A bait. Now, Chopper can be a bit of a bait. He can get traded many times, right? Goes in and tries to do some damage. Someone else goes to follow up afterwards. Grenades in there. Cannon fodder's a good one as well. Player survive 5 rounds or fewer on a map, especially in these close games or whatever. It can be one that pops off quite a lot. I think we go for bait in this one. Bait makes a lot of sense for Chopper. They are going up against Heroic. We'll have to see how it goes for him, especially considering the changes of personnel going on there. Pistol round. Pistol round's kind of a bit of a coin flip. Someone like a Zyru often has very good pistols, so I like to throw that in there, but there's a lot of risk with it. Avenger. So Sway actually doesn't have too much high early on with this. Okay. So we go Avenger, player gets 4 or more trade kills on a map. So he goes in and gets the trade after his teammates have done some damage and fought him. That can work. I think that could be good for him. Now, Brolan's probably going to be the hard one, but I think he's a bit of a util guy. I might save that grenade for an Apex. I do expect them to win this map. Player survive. The VP that I saw played better. They definitely played better at Blast. Obviously, it was going to be tough for them against Spirit, but they beat MIBR, they beat FaZe. Can they? Yeah, I don't think they're going to challenge Mouse enough where he's going to be on the cannon fodder position. Play makes 3 or more SMG kills. What do I want to use here for Brolan? By the way, some of these as well, if you guys enjoy the video, make sure you tell me in the comments. I'm going to do some of these live with Twitch chat. So while I'm streaming at home, you guys can pick up the content there at the same time. I think that can be a lot of fun that we can do it together. Maybe you guys got some different ideas. I'm not stuck in my ways on how it must be. Yeah, Brolan really lacks a lot in this. There's a lot of lacking from him here. Apex is much better with the utility. Bottom of the scoreboard. Is he going to be bottom of the scoreboard kind of guy? We saw it against Spirit, but if I'm thinking that Mao's going to win, I don't think he's going to be bottom of the scoreboard, in particularly against VP. Like, that's probably not going to happen either. So maybe this one we take a bit more of a risk on and we just do the cannon fodder and say he survives. Maybe they have a close game against VP. He survives 5 rounds or fewer. Let's try that. Let's see how that works out. So there you have it. That's my team overview. That's it done. This is the Esports World Cup HLTV Fantasy League presented by SkinClub. So hopefully we get a big win here. And The next video, I'll update you on how I'm doing. Actually, I'll show you right now how we are on the overall fantasy leaderboard. The first fantasy leaderboard didn't start off too well for me. We're up at 17 points, 11th right now. It's not great, but I have done all the games. I'm set to put a boost on though. Look at this, 10 points. So I'll bypass Vince and Nade King right now, potentially. I could jump quite a few places right now because of how close this is. So it's all to play for. And just a reminder of where I'm at just for the points here. I'm going to get 10 points so far, and obviously I've still got these guys all in the match. Techno will lose some, but hopefully Apex and Rops will gain some. So I get my grand final of having 4 players in there as well. Let's wait and see what happens. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more coming out from me. I got a lot more content planned, some interviews as well at the same time that I'll be doing on this channel. So let me know. Maybe you've got some ideas of what content you want to see here, and we'll get it done as well. See you next time.